All right, so today's objective is to learn how to conduct your first visual observation inspection by recording specific observation detailing the conditions of the storm drain and identifying pollutants in the micro watershed and around the storm drain. Remember, we all live in a micro watershed. It's basically your neighborhood. Your neighborhood is a micro watershed. All the water that's collected from your micro watershed gets filtered down to your receiving waters, the channels. Then the channels end up in the ocean or in the Newport Bay, right? So we've learned that. Hopefully you can now picture yourself, okay, this is where I'm living. If I water the grass and it goes on the street, that's my watershed, goes down the street into the storm drain, into the channel, to either the river, ocean, or to Newport Bay, and then into the ocean. So different ways, but I'm hopefully by now you kind of start making that connection. All right, micro watershed, a watershed with the water within a watershed. Here, the micro watershed specifically refers to the area that collects water and flows to a selected drain. So we all live in a micro watershed. Your street is a micro watershed, and all the water flows into the storm drain, right? So we all in our neighborhood, that's our watershed. Okay, background information. Conducting regular visual observation provides important scientific data. This is the only data collected on a regular schedule. On a regular schedule, which serves as a paint a picture of the conditions of the storm drain and micro watershed area over a lengthy period of time. Not only does this data serve to identify pollutant sources and changing conditions, but it also provides written evidence with micro watershed and storm drains are well maintained. This data can also be used to support the need for BMPs or solutions in specific micro watershed areas. So I'm going to teach you how to do an observation. These observations are done throughout the course, and if we were at school, we would be doing multiple observations. In the real world, this is someone's job. Someone's job is to do observations and do the write-up. They're not taking samples, they're just doing an observation, right? Have you ever been in a classroom where the principal walks in or the assistant principal walks in and does an observation of the class, the teacher, the students? So what they're doing is they're just taking notes, right? They might ask you guys questions, things like that. So we're going to teach you how to do an observation, not a sample collection. Sample collection was done on Wednesday. Today is just an observation. How do you do an observation? I'll teach you that. Okay, so discussion. What skills do detectives need to solve mysteries? They pay attention to detail. Well, so do we. We need to do that too. Why do they need those skills? To solve mysteries, you need to go beneath what you see on the surface. What skills do scientists need to make observations in a watershed? Similar skills. Pay close attention to detail beyond the surface. Why is it important to make an observation every month? To document any changes in the micro watershed that may impact stormwater pollution. Why is it important to make observations of the entire micro watershed, not just the storm drain? Those sources of pollutants extend throughout the entire micro watershed, right? So as you're conducting your observation, you're not just focusing on 100% your storm drain, you're focusing on the surrounding areas, correct? And we talked about this a little bit on Wednesday or Monday, where I'm like, okay, what if your storm drain is clean, tell me what could be the pollutants, right? Like look a little bit further away than your storm drain, right? What could be causing the pollutants? So you're going to be doing that this weekend as well. First thing is I'm going to show you a video. It's a pretty cool video. It has really nothing to do with storm drain, but it does do with observation. So it's pretty cool. Pay attention. It's a fun, totally has, quote, nothing to do with storm drain, but it has something to do with observation, and it's pretty cool. So.
But it's wordy and hard to read.
This is a test.
I did not see the black belt gorilla. I did not. I was too focused on counting how many times the white team passed the ball that I did not observe, did not realize what was going on in the whole image, right? So this goes to show you, like, when you're doing your observation on your next task, don't focus on the little details. Don't focus just on your storm drain. You're going to have to expand what you see. Okay. And that's like this little video. That's what it was. It was just trying to see, like, where you just focus on one thing and totally missed the gorilla in the room, right? Okay, we're going to show you another video that goes over your observation. Now, you're going to be going and observing your storm drain, and you're going to be answering questions. And these questions, I know this might be breaking news to you. What? You have to use complete sentences. And most of the questions will need 2 to 3 complete sentences to answer, because each question has like a bunch of questions within that one question. So you're going to be building your sentences based on those questions. And remember, never use it or they. This video kind of goes over how to fill out your survey. I'll show it to you now, and then you might have to rewatch it later on once you're ready to go out and observe your water drain.
This seaside Virgo is about to play host to an unforgettable vacation memory. That game of cards.
Okay. So let me activate it. Okay, so we just went over lesson 8, visual observation training. Basically, you're going to go out to your storm drain and you're going to do an observation, a visual observation. You're not touching anything. You don't have to clean anything. You already did the cleanup. Okay. Answer the questions using complete sentences. No complete sentences equal no points for that question. Do not use the word it or they. Reread your answers. Do they make sense? If you read your answer to a person, will they know what you are talking about? So a good complete sentence means I can independently just read your answer and know exactly what you're talking about without having to read the question. That means you use a proper noun, watershed, storm drains, what are you talking about? If you use the word it, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is it? Are you talking about a hamburger, a dog, a cloud? What is it? It could be anything. So I have no idea what you're talking about when you use the word it. You're going to be completing this during your observation or after your observation. You can't be doing it right now because you haven't gone outside to observe it. But Miss Amelia, I went out there yesterday. Cool, but you weren't looking for this. You were probably doing the sampling, which means you weren't looking for these details. So here are the questions. Your date of observation. Are you doing it today, tomorrow, Sunday? What time did you go? Did you go in the morning, afternoon, late at night? Drain location. Where is it? What kind of drain is it? Okay, now we get into those real questions. Describe the condition of your drain in 2 to 3 sentences. Okay, what do you mean by that? How does a drain look? Is the drain grate broken? Is there even a grate on there? Is the drain grate clogged with leaves and debris, or is it clean? I mean, you just cleaned it a couple of days ago. Did it get clogged up again? Or is it still pretty much the way you left it after you cleaned it? Let me know. Number 2, describe the activities that are happening in the micro watershed. That's your neighborhood of the drain you're observing. What is happening in the drain area? Who is there? What activities normally take place there? Maybe you're at the park and there's no one there, but you know that they always play soccer or baseball during the weekend, or people are running around, or people take their dogs to the park. It happens, but it wasn't there when you weren't there when it happened. But what activities normally take place that you have seen before, but maybe it wasn't happening live when you were there? Is there anything out of the ordinary? Knowing who is there and what is taking place are big clues to help us determine the source of pollutants. Use complete sentences, okay? So again, you're gonna answer the questions and then kind of give you a little detail about how to address your question. Number 3, look around the micro watershed of the drain. Again, like the neighborhood. What types of pollutant, what types of potential pollutants are entering the drain? Potential means could be. Maybe they're not entering the drain right at the very second you're observing it, but what could be? We talked about this on Monday, right? Look at the entire watershed, not just the drain itself. Is there any erosion occurring? Like erosion is like when the earth is kind of like moving up. You see that a lot with trees when the roots kind of like move the sidewalk. That's like erosion. Is there someone fertilizing their lawn? Salting the sidewalks, that's not very common here in California. Where it snows, people will salt their sidewalks, but not here, not in Southern California. Is there trash around the area that can make it into the drain? Describe the possible pollutants in 2 or more complete sentences. So here we're looking for potential pollutants. Okay, some of you already looked at that in Monday's observation. Does maintenance need to be performed on the storm drain and or micro watershed? Again, micro watershed is the neighborhood. So businesses, parks, your neighbors, right? Is there maintenance something you can do easily without lifting the drain grate? Or is the problem something the city should know about? Use complete sentences. And that's it. I mean, literally, if you write no, period, you're going to get a 0. Like, I need more. I need you to use proper vocabulary. I need you to use nouns, proper nouns, and a verb. Hey, adjectives and adverbs would be really cool. No need to, but you need to build a proper sentence. Your sentence, if I read your sentence, I know exactly what you're talking about without me having to read this. If I can read your sentence and I know how your what kind of maintenance your storm drain needs and who you need to talk to, and if it's out of your hand and you need like the city involved, just by reading this, you have a good sentence. If you read this, or if you read this to your parents and you go, it was broken, I don't know how to fix it. No. Your parents are going to look at you like, what are you talking about? Your Xbox is broken? What don't you know how to fix? What's broken? The shower head? What are you talking about? Right? So if you use the word it, what are you talking about? Like, can you read your sentence to your brother, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your grandmother, and they'll know. Like, they'll be like, storm drain. Okay, tell me more about it. But if you don't, if you're, hey grandma, yeah, it's broken. Leaves, trash, playground, kids. Huh? What's broken? Trash? What are you talking about? Did you take out the trash this morning? Playground? You want to go to the playground? Kids? What? Are we babysitting? No, grandmother. The drain is broken. I see that the grate is not attached properly. The city needs to come out and fix the broken grate. There is a playground about a block away that could cause pollutants because kids could leave their trash behind. So you read that and you're like, your grandmother or whoever you're reading this to, you're like, oh, okay. So you're talking about a storm drain that's broken, but you can't fix it because it's a big problem. Oh, there's a playground near your storm drain. Oh, and little kids play. Oh yeah, the little kids might leave trash. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So that's like a very vague, but hopefully you kind of get it. Yes. Jency, is there a reason why your mic is on and I'm recording this? Jency? Jency, can you hear me? So hopefully that example was like, hopefully you understand like the difference between a really good sentence and a sentence that won't get you any points, a 0. Do not use the word it. Don't use the word they. Those I think are 2 words that if you steer clear of it, it will help you build a better sentence. And not just for my class, but for all of your classes. And you guys heading into high school, keep that in the back of your brain. Like when you answer questions in high school, try to the best of your ability not to use the word it, because what is it? You'll become a better writer that way. Now, I know there's sometimes you can't avoid it, but you know. All right, so give me 1 second, Angel. So this is published. I think that if you open it and leave it open, you know, you can open it, read the questions again, go out to do your observations. You can start typing in things, take notes, and then go back home and then type out a good formal sentences, and then submit it once you're ready to go. Once you proofread it, you realize like, okay, this is a good sentence. Notice the point value. The point value of these questions are worth a way more than anything I've given you this week, at least per question. So just take your time. If you want to open the quiz, well, you know, it's a quiz, and read through them and then go, okay, this is what I got to do. Okay, I'm good. I understand. Okay, I'm going to take a notebook so I can write down my like rough draft notes, or you can start typing them in here, you know, but realizing, okay, these are not my final answer. I'm just kind of making notes here. Okay, notes. Okay, broken, playground, right? But if you turn that in, I'm going to give you a 0. But if you just write your notes, don't close the tab, you get home and you're like, oh, okay, these are my notes. Oh, okay, yeah. The grate was broke. I observed that the grate was broken, period. There was a playground about a block away that may cause pollutants, period. Kids might leave their trash on the playground, which when it rains might lead into my storm drain. Like that. I took some notes, and then when I get home, I built proper sentences. If you don't want to type this here until you get home, that's cool. You can, you know, open up on your iPad the notes and then type in some notes there and then transfer them over. The key thing is make sure you have complete sentences. I don't know how much, you know, how I can emphasize that more. I'm taking the time to read them. I want to read good, solid sentences. I feel like an English teacher, but I'm not. So that's why it's even more important to make sure your sentences are good. I can read them, be proud of you. Any questions? Any questions? So it's a pretty like straightforward. You only have one thing basically, and this survey is due Monday. This observation is due Monday. So if you want to do the observation right now, if you want to do the observation tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday, feel free. Okay. These 2 things are due today. So things from Tuesday, these 2 are due today. This one is due today. So you have 3 things due today. 3 things due today. This was due Tuesday. This one was due Tuesday, and 3 things are due today. And 1 thing is due Monday. Again, if you want to work on the observation right now, you can go out and observe your drain, if that's possible to do it right now. If you know that you got to wait for mom and dad after school, or brother and sister or whatnot, whoever's going out with you, you can't do it today, you can only do it tomorrow morning, by all means. That's why it's due on Monday. Any questions?